Hello, my darling critters! I missed watching episode 46 in time for filming a video last week, but that's okay because episodes 46 and 47 go together because they're both about the Fey realm. First, however, I wanted to do a quick update on the D&D Open Gaming License drama that started when the owners of Dungeons & Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, a subsidiary of Hasbro, decided to cancel the OGL that creators have been using for over 20 years and rewriting it. Well, if you are part of the tabletop community, you probably know that there was a huge backlash, and shocker, Wizards of the Coast is now in full retreat. They are not only going to stand by the original OGL, but they're also putting the SRD, the system reference, under a Creative Commons license so creators can choose either the OGL or the creative license. And this was a huge win for the D&D community, but that's not all. Critical Role had stated that they're standing by independent creators, which was purposefully a little vague, which most people believed was because of ongoing contracts they have with Wizards of the Coast. But since then, they've opened up a little, because in an interview of Matt Mercer and Marisha Ray by IO9, there seemed to be hints that maybe Critical Role is developing their own gaming system, and that is wild.
Do you guys see yourselves pursuing independence as a goal in the future from other systems or larger corporations?
Well, we do have Darrington Press,
right,
which is our game publishing wing side of the company, and definitely, as we have learned since starting Darrington Press, kind of in the same vein of video games. Games take time and effort and resources to develop, so. Definitely, we've always been very forward focused on quality at Critical Role and just making sure we just want to get it right.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot of things, once again, kind of coming in the future from Darrington Press.
Yeah,
so
we've explored and played with many systems, both just growing up and then on the channel, and we're always excited at the prospect of creating new stories, following new systems, and kind of just branch out from where we started now that we have the opportunity to. And part of the things that we enjoy at Critical Role is that with things like Darrington Press, we can do what we want if we're excited about it.
It's gotta be good though.
It's gotta be good.
Very anal retentive. It's gotta be good. It's gotta be right. We don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
So.
I'll have a link to the interview in the description below because if you're interested in this at all, Matt and Marisha also sort of open up a little bit about their thoughts about the OGL drama. At least I thought it was interesting. And who am I? I am the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. I am also a longtime player of Dungeons & Dragons and big fan of Critical Role, and these videos are to review and recap the Bell's Hells campaign in terms of storytelling. I'm only going to just briefly touch on episode 46 because honestly not that much happened. However, I'm not mad about it because we got so much build up to Maury, Fern's grandmother, that I wasn't mad about spending some time in her place. And that basically is what the whole episode was about. Finding out where Fern grew up. Now, when they went to Maury's Tiki Bar, I do think that was a missed opportunity not to describe the mugs, because tiki bars are known for their mugs just as much as the drinks. Anyway, because Maury is so odd looking, I went on to the Critical Role fan wiki to find a pic of Maury, and this was won by Cecil Pham, which pretty much captures how bizarre she is. I did like this scene when they gave her that mimic statue or whatever it is that they've been carrying around forever.
We had a thing we were gonna a gift. We were gonna give a gift. Actually, we had something for you, if you like.
The smaller sleep head, like Minnie goes,
What?
a gift?
Yeah.
And lifts up the things. Oh, you've awakened her. And kind of settles back into the torso as the other head is now conscious. Goes, I'm sorry, I heard something about a gift.
I kind of wanted both of them to be awake for this, but that's okay.
I do hope you like it.
Let's.
You're gonna love it.
I'm gonna need a little bit of space to get.
Yes.
And all right, hold
Got
on.
some room.
It's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna pull out the portable hole and.
So Ashton did have the whole time.
Yeah. Why?
Okay.
Sorry, I know. I'm gonna bring out the statue and set it down right in front.
She kind of glances at it from behind, and facing you, and kind of taking your face as you set it down. If you want to turn it around towards her.
Ready?
As you turn it from you, the face eventually kind of filters to just a neutral, smooth lack of any sort of detail. And she kind of stumbles forward, her head craning down. Interesting. And as her head gets close to it, you watch the terrifying, like flattened, nostril slit, sunken eye face of the upper head of Morrigan begin to form out of the statue. And she kind of looks it over and looks it over. And it's almost like the magic of the statue straining. It's trying to make the form, and then it kind of like picks up again, and then picks up again. And it's just like something about her presence that the magic is having a hard time grasping. And she can, oh, cute. I wonder. And she kind of opens the front of the dress again and begins to stand up to her fuller height to show the secondary face. And the statue kind of like, the crack begins to run through it. And she pulls away and goes, oh, I know this magic. It's always a pleasure to see its limits. This will be fun. I'll fix it right up. It'll be a good little addition to the entryway and parlor.
I was so curious to see what was gonna happen from that.
She grabs it and kind of puts it over to the side.
Now, in this episode, the party also starts their journey to find one of the Malleus keys, one of the devices tied to Rudius, and we know there's one in the Fey realm, and they run across some centaurs who attack them, but they're pretty easy to defeat. Okay, this brings us to episode 47, which was fantastic. Oh my gosh, what a great episode. First, Ashley wasn't able to be there in person, but she joined virtually. Can I just say, I kind of like it when the camera is zoomed in close on the player's face. Also, the colors were more saturated with Ashley, which made her look more visually interesting. I don't know if it was her camera or setup or whatever. Does anyone agree? Let me know down in the comments. And while you're there, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. The party spies Odahan Thal, and we find out there's some sort of power struggle between the Unseelie Court and Ludinus Daleth, who runs the Ruby Vanguard, the old elf. But Belzhel's mission is to destroy the Malleus key in the Fey realm. Of course, they spend half their time planning how to disable it, and of course, it's a classic case of over-planning leading to underperforming. Nothing ever goes according to plan. But I've said this before, it is such a standard occurrence in every D&D campaign for the party to spend forever coming up with plans, and then things go haywire and they're always having to improvise. I think part of that is that when you're making the plans, you're doing it in front of the game master who is quietly figuring out all the ways the plan can be subverted or go wrong. But Matt Mercer wouldn't do that. Right? Anyway, the plan is to sneak in and quietly disable the machine and sneak out using flight and invisibility before anyone is any wiser. What actually happens is they can't figure out how to disable the machine and end up using dynamite and spells to blow it up, alerting the entire Unseelie court and attracting a Jabberwocky type of fey dragon, rendering this escape plan by air impractical to say the least, and they end up having to fight their way out. In other words, it is pure chaos. Now there are some high stakes, at least it feels like high stakes, because often some of the combat scenes you just know the party isn't in any real great danger of losing or dying, but in a battle like this, the threat is real. And at least I found myself on the edge of my seat, knowing just one really bad die roll could spell disaster, and the party came kind of close to losing Laudna and Fern.
One's going to be against you, Fern. That's going to be a 15 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
Wow.
You guys are getting real lucky. And then one last one at you, Laudna. That's going to be a natural 20.
Oh, come on!
No.
Mirror image.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah, 6 or higher. That's all I need.
Mirror image. Hits
Oh,
mirror image.
thank God.
Hits and knocks an image off to the side. You are unhurt. Are the rest of you going into full sprint?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other than...
Not a full sprint. It's like a.
So all of you can pretty much get to the gate at a full run, I'll say. Fern and Laudna will be just outside of it before this entity gets to go again. Unless any of you have any way of helping.
Yes, it does.
Would you say this for Fern and for Laudna are either of them closer?
Fern is closer.
Fern is closer?
For each of my runs, though, can I be using my ability to pull Laudna 5 feet closer to me with each time I'm running, so that she's getting she'll have been like 15 feet.
I can also. I've got a gravity build. Can I can pull anyone within 15 feet of me 10 feet towards me with the gravity well.
That will actually pull Fern into the
So,
gateway,
yeah, I'm just gonna get
and with your
dense and start
telekinetic
pulling
shove,
them.
that'll pull Laudna just into his radius, and then pull her
Amazing.
into the gate.
So I'm just
That's
getting more and more black and white.
That's
more and more
fucking
black and white.
awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. So you all get
Hello.
pulled inside like the gate well, which is like a good like 15, 20 foot block of hard stone, and you all are on the inside. You now, as you kind of step into the point, the door is still partially open from where you left it. The thing's on the ground, and the forest is beyond that way. Just as you all kind of enter the inside, kind of catching a second, you hear on the outside as the creature swoops down, as Gloamglet now like lands on the other side of the wall. First off,
Is it getting its breath back?
Yeah.
it does not with a 1. You are so lucky.
Oh, because we're all bunched together.
Yep, you are so lucky.
You can still do shit though.
But it does get one kind of like claw, or gets 2 claw reaches, rend, which has a 10-foot reach, which the last 2 in there were Fern and
So
Laudna.
I used my action to dash there, but I still had a bonus action.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw a because I have a bonus action, I'll drop, I guess, invisibility and throw a shield up on Fern, unfortunately.
It's okay.
Also, if we're all through
So
something.
you get a +2 to your AC, Fern.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
And I'm using my last seedling vine to grab Laudna and yank her
Okay,
further out.
you got it. So
So
you
it's
pull
just Fern.
Laudna. Essentially, you're kind of like full on like sticky hand grabbing Laudna and then lobbing her back through the door as it's pushed open, which does throw her probably beyond the boundary of the wall if you want to let her.
Yeah, I can get her
outside.
out of
So you
danger.
could kind of get like full on like like wrist rocketed a little bit over to that side there.
Oh, go ahead and say
Yeah, don't
something.
keel with her. Careful. Sorry.
Oh, boy, no.
Low blow.
Sorry.
Too soon.
But that does mean 2 rend attacks on Fern. So
But the shield's up.
the shield
She's
helps.
got shield +2 to AC.
That's going to be a 19 to hit.
2 hit points.
Silvery barbs.
That just hits.
Silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs.
Okay. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
That doesn't hit. That
That's
doesn't
the-
hit
that's
with the
the-
shield.
That's the first hit.
And Fern, you have advantage on whatever your next shit is.
The next rend attack.
Okay.
That's going to be a 24.
Oh no, that hits.
All right. You take. Oh, this is nasty.
Oh no, oh no.
Come on.
25 points of slashing damage.
I'm out.
Right through you. The impact sends Fern like tumbling up past the door, unconscious.
Next week's episode will start with the party being chased by this fey dragon, Gloamgut, and its rider, Sorrow Lord Zethuda. All they need to do is leave the Fey realm, and their mission is accomplished. They've destroyed one of the Mali's keys, but apparently there are 2 more out there, so I assume they'll be their next mission. My hope is we'll keep up this pace, this momentum, because we have a ticking clock to the apogee solstice, which should only increase the pressure to keep the pedal to the metal. But we'll have to wait until next week to find out, and as usual, I'll be there. Until we meet again, may all the books you read and campaigns you play be